What's the scariest thing you've walked in on at your daycare? I left our new assistant alone with the toddlers for 5 minutes and came back to a scene that made me immediately think someone had died. Paint covered every surface of our main classroom like someone had detonated a craft supply bomb, and Tessa stood in the center of it all with her pristine cardigan splattered in primary colors, while 3-year-old Hazel was nowhere to be found. The other children huddled in the reading corner crying while Tessa's hands shook violently as she tried to wipe yellow paint from her glasses. I ran through every room screaming Hazel's name while Tessa stumbled behind me, leaving rainbow footprints across our floors. "What did you do to her?" I screamed at Tessa, who just kept shaking her head like some kind of maniac while paint dripped from her hair onto my carpet that would definitely need replacing. The police arrived within minutes of my frantic call about a missing child and possible assault situation at our center. The detective examined the overturned easels and scattered art supplies while his partner questioned Tessa about how she'd gotten covered in paint during what should have been a routine afternoon activity. Tessa kept opening her mouth to explain, but no words came out as tears mixed with the blue paint streaking down her cheeks. Parents began arriving for pickup, creating absolute chaos as word spread that something terrible had happened during art time. I couldn't even look at Tessa, who sat in the corner like a paint-covered criminal, while other parents whispered about lawsuits and whether I'd done proper background checks before hiring her. Hazel's mother burst through our front doors demanding to know where her daughter was while threatening to sue everyone from me to the city council if Hazel wasn't found immediately. The detective's radio crackled with updates as officers searched our playground and the surrounding neighborhood blocks for any sign of the missing toddler. An officer discovered Hazel 40 minutes later, hiding inside the supply closet of our neighboring business while clutching her favorite stuffed elephant. "Your assistant basically kicked down my back door carrying this little girl and begged me to hide her because someone dangerous was after them," the tax office owner told the detective while Hazel clung to the officer who'd found her. Hazel seemed confused but unharmed as the paramedics checked her over and offered her stickers for being brave during the scary situation. The truth exploded into focus when Hazel pointed at a photo on the detective's phone and said, "That's the man Mommy said never to go with, but he tried to take me and Miss Tessa wouldn't let him." Her mother's face went white as she recognized her ex-husband Wade, who'd lost custody 2 years ago after domestic violence charges and had a restraining order preventing contact with Hazel. Wade had walked into our daycare during art time claiming to be Hazel's uncle, picking her up for a dental appointment that her mother had supposedly forgotten to mention. Tessa's voice cracked as she explained how she'd recognized Wade from the custody photos in Hazel's file and knew something was wrong immediately. "He grabbed Hazel and said we could do this the easy way or the fun way, because either way that kid was coming with him today," Tessa recounted while the police took her statement about how she'd thrown paint in his face and fought him off until he fled through the back exit. I felt sick realizing I'd been screaming at the woman who saved Hazel's life. The security footage confirmed every detail, including how Tessa had barricaded the door and hidden Hazel next door before Wade could circle back for another attempt. Wade was arrested at his motel room 2 hours later with plane tickets to Mexico and a fake passport with Hazel's photo under a different name. The detective informed us that Wade had been planning this kidnapping for months and specifically waited until we'd hired new staff who wouldn't recognize him from previous attempts. The other parents who'd been ready to demand Tessa's termination just hours earlier were now praising her as a hero who'd saved a child from international parental kidnapping. The insurance adjuster asked me that evening if I wanted to press charges against Tessa for the thousands of dollars in paint damage covering every surface of my classroom. I stared at the rainbow handprints on the wall where she'd fought off a kidnapper with nothing but finger paint and pure determination, and the guilt hit me so hard I actually threw up in my trash can.